Hello? Brian? Can you hear me? Okay, go ahead.
Continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we see all these police vans, we see the lights, the vans, it looks chaotic. We pull up anyway, you know what I mean? We pull up, we get out the car, there's 30, 40 people all from these projects. Now, mind you, this is Pennsylvania. We are three men, all of us from New York City. We have no idea what happened. So, when we seen a few people we knew, the first thing we said, what anybody would say is, what happened?
Right.
And a couple of the women who knew us, they said, Sammy got shot. And we was like, what? And they was like, yeah, Sammy got shot. And from there, that led to one of the guys, this guy named Pookie, he walks up to my cousin, and the first thing came out of his mouth is, he used a derogatory term.
That's okay.
N-word, he said, what happened? Y'all shot my boy. Now, you gotta, all three of us, we looking like, yo, you tripping, like, yo, what? Like,
And mind you, you maintain that you never laid eyes on the victim.
Never laid eyes on the victim the night he was tragically murdered. Never seen.
Wow.
From that argument, and it's three New Yorkers, and we're in the midst of 40 people from this community with this one guy saying that y'all know what happened, y'all shot my boy, and we like, we don't even know he shot, let alone to them getting to the point of saying that he died. But we ain't had nothing to do with that. Yo, we just came from, I'm saying, we just came from Fast Bar, because that's the name of the bar.
Right.
And so, and this argument is taking place in front of the police. So, mind you, you got one of their OGs from down there. He's telling the police, like, yo, those the guys right there. So, the police came towards us and, broke up the argument. We got in our car and drove off. And as we're driving off, I'm like, yo, they just said that, yo. But we all talking amongst ourselves, like, yo, we just came from the bar. Like, get out of here, basically. But, yeah, that's what happened.
Okay.
That's what led to us.
So then the day after, when were you approached by the detective?
State Correctional Institution, Fayette. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
Say that again?
When were you approached by, so right after you left, you guys left, that the police broke up. So then the next day, were you approached by the detective?
Not even the next day. We left, and then, as we left from there, we went to a young girl. I just met this female maybe a day ago. You know what I mean? And we went, we went to where she lived, and we were standing around, So we was drinking beer,
Right.
Some weed, and
all day.
it was like in and out the conversation, we thinking about what just took place at the same time. We mingling with this girl and her friend, and from there, we all went to a hotel. And from the hotel, there was conversation like, damn, they gonna try to say we did it.
Right.
And I'm telling the girl, but then I'm thinking about it, I'm like, nah, I ain't gotta worry about that, because I'm like, yo, I went to the movies. I did go to the movies that night, so I'm like, nah, I got my ticket stubs. I ain't worried about that. I was at the movies, like, I know I ain't had nothing to do with this shit.
Right.
But the girl was like, yo, you need an alibi? And I'm looking at her, I'm like, nah, I don't need no alibi. Like, yo, we ain't had nothing to do with that shit. You just came to the boss, you picking up stuff.
Because you went to the movies and you went to the bar. So you basically that day were completely booked.
Yeah, everywhere I went, I told the police where I was at. But I had been at the movies. The time I was at the movies is that from 8 o'clock to like 10 o'clock. From 8 o'clock to 10:30. So this goes to show you, I have no idea what time a crime took place.
Right.
Where I could be implicated. So I'm like, nah, I was at the movies. Like, we never knew what time anything happened place. You know what I mean? For that crime being committed, because we was in the bar.
Right.
So, so after that, I'm in a hotel with this girl, my cousin and my friend. They didn't even go home. When my friend Andre got to his house, about an hour later, he calls me at the hotel. He's like,
Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Fayette. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
He calls me and tells me, he said, they picked Ted up, or they picked Black up. My cousin's name is Ted, but we also call him Black.
Right.
And he was like, they picked Ted up. And I was like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, well, I told him, I said, well, 9 times out of 10, he going to tell him where I'm at. You know what I mean? Because once we had absolutely nothing to do with it, so there's no reason for help. I hung up the phone and went to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And in the process of me being asleep, when I woke up, the police they kicked the door open. They had the guns on me and the girl, handcuffed both of us, and said, you're going in, you're being charged for a homicide. And they took us to the precinct, questioned for 6 hours. They was like, yo, listen, would you give us your clothes? Can we take your clothes and test your clothes? I said, yeah. They said, can we check your hands and see if you find a gun? I said, yeah.
Now, did you ask for a lawyer? Did they offer you legal counsel before they did all of this?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, they not. At the time, I was 21.
Right.
Everybody, can say in hindsight, how to react with these people in these
right.
But 25 years ago, this is a homicide, and the only thing I'm on my mind is I had absolutely nothing to do with it. Be 100% truthful.
Right.
So I agree. Yeah, I'll take a polygraph. You can have my clothes. You can do whatever test you need to do. You know what I mean? Because this is serious. This ain't a robbery. This ain't a drug case. This is
a murder. Right.
So yeah. But they questioned us for 6 hours, and then when they asked me, they said, "Listen, if you agree to all these things, we'll let you go." I said, "All right." I agreed to them. All they ended up doing was taking my clothes. They never took the polygraph, but they did take my clothes, be tested for DNA, and they let me go. But they kept the young lady. They put her handcuffs, and they let us all 3 go.
Okay. So they kept the woman, and then you guys were able to leave. And then what happened after that?
3 days later, now if you think from because the night the young man was charged to be murdered was on June 17th. On June 20th, I was staying at another a female swimming house, and I had a knock on the door. When I go to the door and I look through the peephole, I see 2 detectives and I see my cousin. And I say, "Yo," and he's like, "Nah, they want to give you your clothes back." So I open the door. They have no shoes on my feet. You know what I mean? And I open the door and they arrest me up. "Oh, you being charged with murder." And this is 25 years later.
Wow. So in the 25 years, what have you done? Where have you gone through an appeal process? Are you working with a lawyer?
Listen, I've court. All my pills have been shot down. I wrote all the Innocence projects, like all throughout the country. I've had the Innocent Project in Pennsylvania. They looked at my case strongly, but the last letter I got from them was in 2012 when the last word they said, although you may very well be innocent, we have not found anything that can help your case.
Okay.
But that was me steadily, trying to study the law because, there's a running joke when you get wrongfully convicted, it'll be 20 to 25 years before you finally figured out how to prove your innocence. You know what I mean? So, but, if we know anything about DNA, you know what I mean? And this ain't no Morby talk, but
right.
There's, men lie, women lie, DNA don't lie.
Right.
You know what I mean? So when it comes to DNA, unequivocally, it points to either guilt or innocence.
Right.
And I'm saying right now that there's DNA, if that testing can be done, that'll prove that unequivocally I had absolutely nothing to do with this case.
Right. Okay. So you've been incarcerated for 25. Have you been in the same prison 25 years, or have you moved around?
This is the second prison I've been to.
Okay.
I've been at this one since 2012. I was up at SDI Somerset for 16 years. And I've been at this one for approximately 18 years and 1 year in the county.
And how has your mental health been? Like, tell me some emotions that you felt when you first were incarcerated. Give me some emotions that you felt.
So, I mean, I just remember going through the trial, and I mean, anytime, like, as a kid, all of us as children, if somebody ever lied on you about anything, that feeling.
Yes.
So just imagine if somebody points a finger at you, who killed my friend, and you had absolutely nothing to do with that. So just imagine how shaken up you feel about that.
Right.
And then to go from that point to hearing the jury say you're guilty, and this case was a death penalty case. So a lot of people don't understand that when you see a case and they use that capital punishment, even though the evidence is not sufficient for them to even prosecute with a capital punishment case, they do this because the jury automatically feel obligated to convict you.
Right.
So as you can imagine, when they said guilty, I looked at my cousin and my friend and I'm like, yo, they just killed us. You know what I mean? Like, oh my goodness, like,
right.
It was it's earth rattling.
Yes.
You'll never get that. You'll never get that back. You know what I mean? Especially when you're 100% innocent.
Right. Exactly.
Around it.
Okay. So what does your self-care look like while someone who is wrongfully accused and is currently incarcerated? How do you take care of yourself? How do you keep yourself balanced?
Oh man, I'm a heavy reader.
Okay. What's your favorite genre?
I work out.
Mm-hmm.
I try to read a little bit of everything, man. History. I'm a child of hip hop, so anything dealing with music is always good. But I love anything dealing with culture, history, and blackness. Unapologetically, like knowing that even though this is what I'm going through, my people has been worse.
Right.
This is what helps get through, like to know that you may be the first, but you ain't the last, and we go through this every day. Not just as a black person, you got white people in here that's innocent too.
Right.
We ain't gonna get that. You know what I mean?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta figure it out though. But you lose a lot of loved ones. In 25 years, I lost my father. You know what I mean? I have a wonderful aunt that has passed away last year, but she took care of me my whole bit, made sure that I was good. You know what I mean? She made sure that I had a chance to have a relationship.
You have 1 minute left.
So I'm gonna have to call you back.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, but it's been rough though. It ain't been easy. One can talk to me all day and think that everything's good, but nah, this is it's traumatizing. You just gotta stay strong. You gotta get through it. You gotta figure it out.
Right.
I'm gonna call you right back.
Okay.
Hang up.
All right, no problem.
All right.